Hey guys, so welcome back to Cultivation with Christy. I'm Christy. Today we're going to be talking about those guys, ladies. There has been a lot of want for chickens lately, mainly because we have an egg shortage. So what do if you can't get eggs at the grocery store? Get your own chickens. And I am going to quickly teach you how to get your own chickens and care for them. If you did not follow me last year about this time of year, actually I think I got my chickens on the 13th, maybe 8th last year. It was an adventure. First time chick owner. Generally speaking, when you get your chicks, your baby chicks at Tractor Supply or Rural King or wherever, they're around 3 days old. If you buy them online, they come to you within 3 days of them being hatched. They can live 3 days right after being hatched without food or water, so that makes transport of the baby chicks very easy. So you went to the store, you impulse bought chickens, baby chicks. Now what do? I'm here to tell you. There's dogs in there. So first thing you're gonna need, a heat source. This is a heat plate, so it's electric. You plug it in. This side gets warm. It's preset. It's got a light. It's dirty. Ignore it. It's got a light on there to tell you it's heating. It's adjustable. So these little things on the back side clip in, and you just pop this to make it shorter. You want the chicks to be right up on the heat source, just like if they were under mama hen's butt. So when you first get them, and this is just the heat source I had, it's less of a fire hazard than those lights you see that hang like they have in Tractor Supply. Those will work too if you want to go that route, but I didn't because I have dogs and chickens are unpredictable, and I thought this would be the safer route since I was putting them inside my house. But if you want to buy a heat lamp, go ahead and do that. But I bought these. You can get them on Amazon. If I remember, I'll link this one down below. I don't think the plexiglass on top does anything other than you can take it off and clean it, because they're gonna hop up on here and roost when they get a little bit older. So make them all about the same height. I put the front end up a little bit taller so they can get underneath it. Let me show you. See how this end is taller, so if they want to get up underneath this side and not be as hot, or they can get back here and be nice and huddled and warm together. On the Amazon listing, it gives you a recommendation on how many chickens per heat source. You'll also might need an extra one if one gets sickly and you have to separate them, but generally I think it's one of these per 12 chickens. Again, I'll put the link below. So first thing you need, heat source. Second thing you need, and maybe it should have been the first thing, is some kind of container to keep them in. If you followed along, and I'll try to put a picture up, I had a old dog kennel that I put bedding in. I put the liner around it just to hold the shavings and stuff in. You don't necessarily have to do that, but they are going to kick stuff out of whatever. So you can get a Rubbermaid tub if it's big enough for this and 2 of these, which we'll get to. Just whatever container you can keep them contained where they won't hurt themselves, like they can't stick their head through and get caught, which is another reason I kind of put the liner around it. You'll also need some kind of bedding. You'll need preferably pine shavings. You don't want cedar. Cedar, they breathe it in and they can get sick. Apparently cedar isn't good for any animal. Well, who knows? But yeah, cedar bedding, which you'll need to clean often. Keep them in your house any amount of time. They do stink. Mine did not stay inside the house very long before they went out into the garage, so just keep that in mind as well. They can't go outside until they're fully feathered, and you'll know they go from fluffy little things to actually looking like little dinosaur chickens, and if I have a picture I'll put that up here too. And that's so they stay warm. Before they get their real feathers, they don't have a way to stay warm on their own. So you can't put them outside when the temperature drops to 50 until they're fully feathered. And usually with these types of things, there's a chart on how long you keep them. I think it's usually 12 weeks, I want to say, or 8 weeks before they go out into the coop. So again, you get baby chicks, you're going to have to commit to a couple of weeks of really tending them and keeping them inside. So, we've got our heat source. We have a house. We have bedding. Next, we need food and water. So, usually you can find these little things at Tractor Supply or your local Harvest is the one that I use. Feed mill store. So, this one is the waterer. See, it's got the little thing here. Fill this up with water. Then they have one just like this where it's a feeder. They can peck and feed. So you'll need one of each. Usually you'll get these type because they're shallow, and chickens aren't smart. You know the saying, the sense God gave a chicken. That's true. So you'll have to watch them, make sure they don't drown themselves in the water. So you want something shallow. You don't want a big dish where they all can get in there and get stupid and drown themselves. So food and water. Next thing, when they get to a certain age, you want grit. This one is for full grown chickens. They have a chick grit that you'll want to get. Chickens have something called a crop, I think, and they have to have some kind of grit rock type substance to help them digest. So if they're not free ranging, they've got to have the grit. And you want chick grit, not poultry grit. I don't have any more chick grit because I don't have any more chickens, baby chicks. So chick grit, and you won't want to mix it in with their food. You'll just give them a little shallow cup and they'll eat what they want of this. Then at a certain point you'll want to get them oyster shell or just ground up some eggshells, and they need that for the calcium to make sure their eggs are strong, but that's when they get a little bit older, so you won't need that right away. And this one you won't need right away either. It tells you on the back of the bag how old they need to be before you give them the poultry or chick grit. And last but not least, food. This is obviously chicken, full-grown chicken pellets, but the chick food is very similar, and you can, whatever your heart's content, organic, not organic, but you'll want the chick feed because it's a little more broken up and it gives them the nutrients they need to grow. Now, some controversy on that, you can get it, I forget what it is, vaccinated or not vaccinated isn't the word, but you can get antibiotics in it or not when they're young. Fully up to you. I did just for mine and they turned out fine, but I'm sure if you don't, they turn out fine. There's been years of people using one or the other, it doesn't matter. But if you're strongly to not use the It's not vaccinated. I'll put it up here. This one. If you don't want to do that, then don't. They have some without it. That's just the brand that I used, and my chickens are fine. So, I think that's it in a nutshell. You're going to want to keep this filled regularly, fresh water, check on it daily. You can also get them an electrolyte mix if you want to give them an extra boost right when they get here. I guess I did that. I don't remember, but I'll try to put the packets up here. I only used one with the 4 chickens I had. It makes a gallon. You can't keep it over 24 hours or something like that, so you can't really use it, but I think they'd be fine without it. I like this whole coming home and there's still daylight stuff. I can do videos like this for you guys. Just sitting here thinking, making sure I got everything. Of note, this stays plugged in all the time. They need heat all the time. And as they get bigger, you just raise it up so they can get under there and get warm. If they're really close to this, they're probably cold, so you want to either lower it or just watch them if it's already lower. And then if they're out all the time and sleeping outside of this, then they may be hot. You may want to raise it up so they can get some warmth, but they won't get hot. And when you get chicken size, they're little terrorists, so they will destroy every plant you've ever owned. So be aware. Fun facts about chickens: they poop like 56 times a day, so be prepared to clean that up regularly. You want to clean them probably every day, if not every other day. You can spot clean if you want. Just take out the areas that are dirty and refresh their bedding. You want to handle them a lot, pick them up, love on them. You don't want to keep them away from the heat source too long, but the more you handle them, the easier checking them when they get older, if they get sick, all of that. So handling them is a good thing. I think that's it. As I'm editing this, if I think of anything else, I'll let you guys know if you have any questions. Okay, I did think of one thing. When you get the chickens, if you get them from an order, like if you order them offline, you need to dip their beaks into the water. Just take the little baby chick, dip his little beak in the water. That way he knows where the water is. Probably the store-bought ones too. They have probably already been drinking water and eating food, but better safe than sorry. You dip their face in the water so they know where it is. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled program. At some point, they can go outside for little bits of time if it's warm enough during the day. You'll want to get them outside and, feel the grass and kind of get them used to where they're going to be. I'll do another video sometime soon on the coop and the kind I have and what works for me. This one I actually got on Facebook Marketplace. It was already built, ready to go. I did make some modifications to it, but that's later down. So if you get a chick and you don't have a coop, you've got time, because actually I had the coop before the chickens, but it was not ready for them. I had to rechange the wire and I had to get the feeders and all of the things. So you have like 12 weeks to get this ready for them to go out, because still have time, because they won't go outside right away. You'll need some place for them. If you've got chicken questions, let me know. Something of note: chickens lay about 1 egg per day per chicken-ish. Some is every other day. It depends on the breed of chicken, and that determines how often they lay. So if you're trying to figure out how much eggs you're gonna need, we have 4. That's enough to share, and they don't lay all year. So they quit laying in the winter, so I stock up on eggs before Thanksgiving and Christmas to get us through. Yeah, so don't go and get a bunch of chickens, because you're gonna have to feed them, you're gonna have to clean them, all the things. Don't think you're gonna have an egg operation, because while they're not super expensive to tend to, they do need care and maintenance. So I just remembered, for chicks, you're gonna want to check their butt. I know that sounds crazy, but regularly check their booty. If they've got hard crusties on it, you're gonna have to clean it off. It can get impacted, and then they won't be able to poop, and then you'll have a dead chicken. So clean that regularly, just a washcloth and warm water if they start getting little crusties. Alright, I think you know all the things about chickens and checking their butt and stuff. I will, maybe right now, I'll do this video for you guys. Let me know if you have chicken questions. See ya.